All right, let's talk about one of the biggest concerns people have when putting their home on the market: timing. When's the right time to put my home on the market? And so timing the market can be tricky because there's three things to take a look at. The market timing, when's the right time to go to market? Your timing, what's happening in your own personal life and the right time for you to move forward. And then ultimately, how much time will it take to sell my property? So lots to talk about in a short period of time. First off, when's the right time to put my home on the market during the year? Well, everybody knows that there's more buyers and sellers running around in the spring and the summer, and less people know actually that the highest months of appreciation occur typically in Central Texas, March and April. May's a really good month too. June's not bad, and July and August things start to taper off. And I theoretically think that's because of vacations in the summer, people settling down and getting ready for the fall, for the school year. And so March and April really are the fired up months where people are coming to market, buyers are getting out there and would like to be settled in early spring or late spring or early summer, the latest. And so we see a lot of activity in March and April. And stereotypically, year after year, March and April months for appreciation are consistently the highest. And so timing the market as far as buyer demand is, if you're a seller, you're gonna see a lot more buyer demand. Now, with every pro, there's a con. While there's a lot more buyers on the market, there's a lot more sellers coming to market. So seller beware on how you price property, because trying to start high is never a winning solution. How often do you shop for overpriced items? And so it is in this common market for a homeowner to have to list within 3 to 5% of what the homes have recently sold for. Buyers are simply not looking at homes priced over 5%. And so if you want to try to start high, be careful what that number means. Now, sitting down and taking a look at the micro data of what your neighborhood is doing specifically, days on market, ask price to sell price, will help you give a better idea of what that means to you in your neighborhood. So be careful that the spring is still good months, but there's a lot more competition versus the end of summer and even fall months. There can be some really good opportunities to sell during the fall where there are less buyers running around. But think about it. Who really wants to move during the holidays, the early winter months? But if there's buyers looking around during those months, they're motivated. They're more apt to deliver your asking price. And so we see the ask to sell price tighten up in those fall to winter months. So timing can be subjective, and yet point number 2 is, when's the right time for you? Now, don't put yourself out on a limb in regards to having to put your property on the market because you're trying to time the market. You have to prepare for market, and that means sometimes a consultation to figure out what you should or shouldn't do. Where should you spend money, or you shouldn't or may not have to spend money to get your property ready for showing condition? How will it work for timing on showings? And so taking into consideration your own personal time and your own personal life and circumstances will give you a better indication in regards to when you should go ahead and put your property on the market. Now, just a little side bonus note. We'll typically put homes on the market on a Wednesday to prep people for the weekend. And there's quite a bit of marketing that we'll do a week to 2 prior. So we'll spend a couple of weeks pre-prepping the property and communicating, marketing offline, and getting all of our ducks in a row on the marketing side so that when we launch on a Wednesday, we're building momentum for that weekend release. Those buyers are going to be out on Saturday and Sunday, and we have a very specific and strategic plan to make sure that we drive the most amount of people as possible that first weekend. So timing in regards to when we release it during the week is also something strategic to take into consideration. So these are all things that you'll need to think about when you're trying to figure out timing of the market, your own personal time. When is the timing of releasing the listing? And then finally, the last point is how much time will it take to sell my property? Now, it shouldn't take more than 30 to 45 days to sell a property around $1 million or less. I mean, 1.2, 1.3, up to around $1.4 million, it's still possible to sell a property in 30 to 45 days or less. It's not uncommon for us to be able to sell a property within a week or two with the right features and benefits, priced right, so that we can attract the most amount of buyers as possible. And instead of negotiating down, we're negotiating up. Now, that's all possible as long as you're willing to have a conversation about the creative solutions and the pricing psychology to make sure that you position yourself properly to sell within 30 to 45 days. Look, after that, you're bruised bananas. Sitting on the market a long period of time and chasing down the market week after week, month after month, and reducing your price is not where you want to be, because that's when the vultures start circling, the bottom feeders start dwelling for trying to get you to lower your price and lowball offers that nobody wants. So having a conversation around the pricing of the property will help you sell within 30 to 45 days. Because remember, if you sell your home faster, that does equal more money. I know it only takes one buyer, and yet we want to make sure that we drive as many buyers as possible to the listing so that one buyer will show up and understand that there's demand for the property and make an offer at or over market price. Pricing is important. Timing is significant. Let's have a conversation around what that means to you. Vision Realty Group, your vision is our mission to help you get what you want in the time frame you want it.